Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Mulder. Today, I want to talk about Uncle Chucky and radionics and why he went from being a magician. I mean, he was always a black magician, but why he incorporated radionics. Kind of go into it a little bit with a little bit more detail. Anyway, Chuck and I, we've had many conversations over the years, both on and off the air about this. And he honestly, in a word, he said, "Well, I'm just lazy." And I said, "Okay." In other words, what he meant was that by using radionics, instead of going through the ceremonies, the conjuring of entities, whether good or evil, all that other stuff that he was involved in, he realized that by turning a few knobs, he could do the very same thing. And I have to sympathize with his opinion because I came to the very same conclusion. I've watched magicians in action go through their ceremonies. They would lay out these elaborate, uh, I don't know if you want to call it a sigil or whatever, but they would lay out these elaborate uh, designs and they would go through the ceremonies and some of them would even sacrifice animals like chickens, that kind of thing. I mean, they go that far. Um, and they're they were doing all kinds of whatever. And I looked at it and and I asked, you don't have to tell me for the confidentiality of your client, but what are you trying to do? And when they would tell me, I would think to myself, I really didn't want to, go right out and say it. I just think to myself, damn, you went through all of this, or all you had to do was just turn a few dials. I mean, really, you went through all this work of, and all this ritual and whatever, when you could have had the same end results by turning, a few dials. And I think that's really is what the attraction was, or what the conclusion was that Chuck came to. He realized that instead of going through all these rituals and yada 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 and this and that and whatever, all he had to do was just turn a few dials. I mean, within a matter of 30 seconds or so, uh, he did the very same thing that would have taken hours of preparation. And and again, it kind of goes back, where does the power come from? He would incorporate sigils of demons and and this and that and whatever. But ultimately, where's the power come from? It comes from the operator. I mean, even Chuck says the operator is the most important part of a machine. And so where did the power come from? It came from you, Chuck. You were the magic. You were the true magic. All you were using was or was the ideas or the thought forms of other things as a resource. And I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this word, it just rings in my mind about everything in the universe. It's a resource. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing bad about it. It just exists for there to be either destroyed or used to create something. That's what it's there for. It is a resource. And Chuck, I mean, that's what I look, everything was a resource. So I and so again, kind of circling around here. I mean, I look at this thing, where's the power come from? It's you. You are it. It is your will. And I think I mentioned this on a previous show. I think it was with Lady Karen. I don't know if I went into a lot of detail about it. I'm a big fan of Cliff High. And Cliff High, you can find him on there's videos of him on YouTube and Rumble and BitChute. So you can look around, you can find this guy. And anyway, he did a little talk about a couple of things and a little bit of woo-woo stuff. And he mentioned sorcerers and magicians. And I know this is semantics. I even, before I got on the air, I even looked up the definition, and I really couldn't find a clear, uh, what is the difference between a sorcerer? What is the difference between a magician? What is the difference between a wizard? And I really couldn't find a clear definition. And again, this is just Cliff High's definition of it, and to me, this is closer to what I think it really means. A sorcerer, like a wizard or unlike a magician, from the way I understand it. I may be wrong. Please, again, it's just semantics. It's just it's just my definition, my personal. What does this word mean to me? A sorcerer is a person who's able to take their will, take their intent, and tap into quote unquote source, the creator, the heart of everything, what makes this universe, this reality, a thing. He's able to tap into that, or she's able to tap into that. And just by merely thought, by merely will, they're able to make things happen in the material universe. And so that is what a sorcerer is. A magician, yeah, they do the same thing, but they go through all these other things. Again, like as I mentioned earlier, the rituals, the magic wands, the potions, all this other stuff. And again, to do the same thing, to evoke I guess, a energetic burst that will go into reality and jolt it a little bit to make it do something that it normally would not do. And I think that's the difference here. And but with the sorcerer, yeah, his tool is his consciousness. And these machines, getting back to radionics, these machines, what they do is they take that consciousness, and as you tune the dials with that machine, it works in conjunction with you. It becomes an extension of you. It is merely a tool. There's nothing magical about a radionics machine. It is merely a tool. It's a mind machine. It works and interacts with your consciousness, with your quote unquote soul, if you want to go that far, go that deep into it. And it works into that. And you set a machine for a certain intent to happen, and it becomes a part of you, an extension of you, where your will, your intent is projected into the universe. And as a result of that constantly projecting that will and that intent, it makes things happen that normally would not happen. And I think that is the big difference between sorcery or being a sorcerer. And a sorcerer to me is nothing like a magician. It's beyond that. And a magician who works with other entities or other things. And but again, that is where I was thinking about this and kind of getting back to Chuck, circling around to that again. Everything he did toward I think the last 20 years of his life, basically, or 30 years of his life. I mean, it was concentrated solely on radionics. I mean, the guy, I think it started back in the 80s when he wrote his book. Oh, shit, hell, it's been closer to 40, 45 years now. Sorry about that. And, it all went back to radionics and the simplicity of it and how it works. And, and I, the other day, I had a client and he wanted me to build an actual box that was inside of those the schematics that Chuck had in his books. He wanted to watch me build that, and again, it was no big deal. I mean, hell, that's public knowledge. And I went through everything. It took me about an hour to build this thing. And I went through all the stuff. I gave him a few little pointers on how to build his own little three-dial machines and what have you. And again, taking a cardboard box and building a little three-dial non-electronic device took about an hour. And at the end of it, I went ahead and started tuning it. It worked like a champ. It worked great. And again, that three-dial machine is as good as the machines that I make that have all the bells and whistles. No, it's not. But it will get you to it'll get you there. I mean, it'll take you there, but not as fast or not as with less, with fewer hiccups that you would have with a more advanced, a more powerful machine. And but the point of it is, I mean, that's where Chuck came from. He built, and that was kind of similar to what he built among his first machines. And the thing that Chuck did, heck, the only thing he could do was just he didn't even know how to use a soldering iron. He had to twist all the all the wires through the tabs of the potentiometers and all this stuff and whatever. And again, it was a good machine. He used them for years, but when it came to building stuff, and again, this is sort of a stream of consciousness, and hopefully this is all coherent. Um, you know, Kind of getting back to the machines and shifting gears on radionics and Chuck. Chuck could, could make machines. He was kind of sort of a lazy guy, but he could build a machine and fiddle around. He did if he wasn't writing or getting on the internet and causing a little havoc. Uh, but you know, he gave me the greatest compliment I ever had. And apparently there was some kind of a war going on in one of these radionic chat rooms, and they were talking about who's the best and yada yada yada. And then Chuck got on there, and this was probably one of the greatest compliments he ever paid to me. I think the video may even still be up on the internet. I'm not sure. Uh, he said that he's used different types of machines from different manufacturers all around the world. They would basically give them to Chuck to kind of play with them and give a product review, that kind of a thing. And he said of all the machines, he said mine was as good as, if not better, than anything out there. That was coming from Charles Casamano. And I approached it, the building these machines with a different attitude than a lot of these manufacturers had. My job here was to create a working device that was affordable by the general public. That was my original mission statement when it came to building radionics. When I first I sold my very first machine through Joshua P. Warren, and that day changed my life forever. And he got on Coast to Coast and started talking about the wishing machine, and I think that's probably the first time he ever mentioned Dr. Mulder, to a national audience. And so he got on there and started going through it, and we made our first sale uh, because of Coast to Coast, and then that led to another sale and led to another sale, and here I am. I think, geez, it has to have been like 11, 12 years later. I think I've built close to nine. No, it's been like 14 years, close to 9,000 machines I built, almost 9,000 machines. I don't think there's another manufacturer out there who could say the very same thing. If they can, I would love to see them. I'd love to talk to them because I'd like to know how long they've been in business and all that good stuff. But anyway, and the reason why we were able to do this is gets back to the the you know the model, business model that I had, which was to build a working machine at an affordable price. And that went with Chuck's philosophy too, because he saw these things for thousands of dollars, and he decided he would just build a simple machine and even tell everybody how to do it, how to replicate his work. And that's what I did the other day, and it was kind of nostalgic. It kind of reminds me of the first machine I built. But I went through all this, and uh, and with Chuck and telling me, that he really thought that these were among the best. And because of that, we were able to build a partnership, and he was able to show me, different ways of looking at radionics, the capabilities of these machines that really most people were not aware of, and how to, amplify things that people already have, the powers they already have. And I think what this led to was a great partnership for research and development. and for taking these machines to where they are today. And because of Charles Casamano, because of his work, and because of my collaboration with Chuck, uh, that's basically has brought me to where I am today. And I couldn't have done it without the guy. I am forever thankful to Chuck. And I mean, to the best of my knowledge, he's still alive, but again, mentally, he's not here. He's gone. And so it is what it is. But anyway, uh, it's that's where that's where it goes. And because of the Chuck kind of planting the seed in my mind of the possibilities of this, I mean the next phase that this is going to take, and a lot of the people who have who've already purchased the $12 machines are already the pioneers of where this thing is going to. And as I mentioned earlier, look at the world as a resource. You do not live in a world or a universe of scarcity. You live in a universe of bounty. It is unlimited. It it will never run out. It will always replace itself. It's just the way it is. It's just the way the universe operates. And we were giving a special power, if you want to call it that, a special um, a special talent to do things that that would be, from an outsider would be considered magical. No, it's not magical. It's just part of the makeup of the universe. It's just how it works. After you realize that things are not really as they seem, that that reality is not what it appears to be. After you come, basically just accept that fact, it changes your entire outlook about everything else. It really does, about whether your interaction with other human beings, your interaction with nature, your interaction with business, art, whatever it may be. It changes your entire attitude, your entire outlook. You see things as are they really there? Is this just an illusion, or is this just or is this quote unquote real? And I think it's a little bit of both, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, enough of my yakking. I just wanted to kind of, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days, and hopefully I put it in some kind of coherent form and a logical form here. I know it's kind of skipped around, but that's just the way it works. With that said, I am going to call it a day, but hopefully I gave you a couple of nice little insights about Chuck, about radionics, and where this is going. And it's just, you know, just remember, you are the magic. And I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say it a million and one. You are the magic. You have everything it takes to change your reality. Not reality, but your reality. You have everything it takes. And, hey, it took radionics for me to figure this out. And I think there's thousands, many thousands of people out there that have come to the same conclusion. And so with that said, everybody have a great day and happy holidays. Bye.